Okay, so my name is Catherine Gordon, and Abigail,
Hello.
and we are from the supervising team, and we are going to be providing our feedback to the supervisee team. And have you guys had a chance to review the written feedback that we gave you?
We did.
Well,
I have the doc up next to me too, to reference.
Okay, so we just wanted to start with a couple positive comments. I personally really liked the how in depth you guys were with your DRA. You went into giving a great.
I know. I didn't know if it was mine.
Do I not? You can't hear me.
It's all echoey.
it's
You
echo.
sound
Oh, it says
It like goes and comes, your voice.
Oh, so maybe if we all try muting our screen while someone
yeah, maybe mute.
okay. So everyone else mute, and then let me know in the chat if you can continue to hear me. Is this good? This is good. Okay. So we're just going to start. We were going to start with a positive comment. I really appreciated how you guys went into depth with providing the functional communication training as your example for your DRA. Since you didn't just brush over the surface of what a DRA was, you really gave that solid example, especially since you're dealing with clients whose their function of behavior was attention. So usually FCT is used as the DRA in that procedure. So that was something that I really appreciated in your whole presentation. Abigail?
I agree with Catherine. Great job on that. My positive that I wanted to bring to light was the amount of detail you went into with your client and your setting background. It really was an easy read, and it really helped give a background of what your center outlook was what you were going for. So I enjoyed that part of it myself. So great job. I think the main thing we thought to focus more on was the purpose, section 2 of the manual. Catherine, did you want to introduce it and I'll give some examples?
Yeah. So our priority of our feedback that we thought was a main concern would be how you guys presented within section 2. There seemed to be a lot of sections where it was just a little bit confusing as to what was directed towards your direct care staff and what was directed towards the clients that you guys have at the clinic. So that was like that would be a priority feedback from us. So if Abigail, she can give more detail.
Okay. So the first example, we thought you could provide a little bit more detail on how it pertains to the direct care staff, was how PowerPoint presentation could benefit training the direct care staff versus how it can benefit the client. And you gave examples like for visual supports, PECs, prompting, social narratives, and how those visual supports help the client, where we thought the main purpose of this part was how visual supports can benefit the DCS in training purposes. So finding more studies that focus on visual supports and how they're used for training purposes, I think would benefit this section a lot. Again, with video modeling, same kind of thing, more sources pertaining primarily on how video modeling is used for training purposes versus client benefit. Another example was the role play. I thought you did a really great job with this section, focusing on how role playing is used to train DCS. But I think, again, if you just added more studies that support how how role play helps train DCS, I think that would make it a little bit stronger of a argument there. So again, I think that section was really strong. Just more studies would make it a little bit stronger. And then the coaching and feedback I thought was great. Just a little bit, again, the direction of it should go more towards the direct care staff and not the clients. But I think the main goal of that paragraph was really well written. Again, just the direction could go a little bit more towards direct care staff.
Another priority focus would be, we had a couple concerns about your timeline section. So under your training acceptability section, it talks about, I'm going to look at the document itself. It talks about separating the training over 2 days, 6 to 8 hours. And then when you get to the actual schedule that you guys provided, it didn't really match up with that. So that was another thing that we thought that could be expanded upon and kind of tightened up with your timeline matching some of the things that you were presenting and how long those things would take to present. And then I think Abigail had one more.
And our last comment is just about like the flow of the whole manual itself, indentations, spacing, and all of that stuff. Just could use a little bit more of a look over. But other than that, it was an easy read, and I think you guys did a good job.
Can you guys elaborate on spacing?
Yeah, so we just noticed in some sections there would be like a double space after a heading when the whole document itself was already double spaced, and it just, there were some like inconsistencies with indenting and certain spacings. So visually, if everything was like made the same, it might make it an easier flow to read.
Yeah, I think what happened with that was we did everything on Google Docs, and everything on Google Docs was like perfect format, whether it was annotated bibliography, our references, spacing, everything was really good. So I'm not sure what happened when we downloaded, if the formatting kind of went, it went different way, or like what happened with that. But on our end, formatting was APA style, how it should be.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely know that like things get, like when you move it from Word to Google and back and forth, it definitely gets mixed up. Okay, so then yeah, that comment can be disregarded.
There's a comment here about annotated bib wasn't formatted in APA.
So you want, am I on? About the annotated one, I just want to give a comment. It was done on the APA style. It should be indented one time, then the second paragraph is indented. But for some reason, when we are switching from doc into Word, it gets mixed. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it should be indented twice. The way I see it now is the second time when it comes, the second is at the front. It doesn't indent three times. It should be indented 3 times. First one with the individual's name and everything. Then the third, when you are giving your comment, it will be indented more. But during the process, it gets changed. I don't know how.
Okay.
Okay. But like yeah, so if that wasn't a problem on your guys' end, then that's not something you need to fix, and you can disregard our comments
Yeah.
if when you're submitting it, it looks fine. But we just wanted to say that overall, it seemed to be a very helpful resource for DRA and NCR for clients.
Yeah, it's good. Another point is we really appreciate to point out we were sure to add those additional timeline for the program. We didn't add it. We were about to add it, but we forget it. But it will be correct. That is a nice pointing out. We missed that part.
I did have a comment about the PowerPoint section. I kind of wrote a disclaimer at the bottom. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling for the section. But to your point about how the material should be towards the trainer, we didn't find a lot of articles at all. So I wrote a disclaimer stating, I'm sorry, it's in section 1, right?
Yeah, it's in section.
Trying to look for it.
Is it only on my end, or is Valerie just frozen? Her picture.
I am frozen. I can see. I'm
Okay.
frozen. Yeah.
You can talk about
Can you
that.
still
The
hear me
thing
yet?
is, you want me to add on that point, Valerie?
I'm trying to look for the section that says it about the PowerPoint. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So I wrote at the bottom, my disclaimer was understanding the function and benefits of visual supports will help trainees understand their significance in programs and why it is important to incorporate them whenever necessary. So that was sort of my little disclaimer about, I know this is about clients. However, having an understanding about it will help us teach direct care staff. And Dr. Bellapani's comments to us, there wasn't any standout about that section, whether we offered too much information or whatnot. So I will definitely take your feedback into consideration and reach out to her and see if this is a rework section.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you froze again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me though?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you.
I'm here. I guess my camera's just frozen. Sorry. Were there any feedback on the PowerPoint or the PSI, or did you have anything else for the document itself?
I don't have any more for the document. I thought the other two pieces of documents were good. I didn't have any really immediate feedback on that.
Yeah, so other than the comments, there were comments that we added that you guys have said you've looked through. If there's anything that you want us to clarify with the comments that we've made, you can, bring that to our attention now. But just what we talked about, we wanted to give it to you in like a prioritized order of what we thought was most important. But yeah, there were just the small things that we've already added to the document. So if you guys have any questions about that, let us know. And then other than that, really, that's all we have.
Okay.
I
So,
guess one comment which I want to take it or bring it back to you is the one about the training by itself is our main target are the kids. So when we train the staff, indirectly we are preparing them to train the kids. And on the other hand, whenever you are training the kids, they are not only with us. They go to school, they have the family and the school. So usually we communicate with the schools, wherever we train them. And the change should be together between us, between the staff, and when the kids are going home or to their families. Unless we train them to train the kids, then there will be a hole between us. The chain will be broken. So that's why mostly our target are the kids, because the kids are going everywhere, to the teachers, to the family, and at the same time they will come to us. That's our target. When we are targeting how to teach the student, the trainee, we focus at the same time the family and the school. I guess you heard me. Any comment, I will be ready.
I think that's it from your guys' end, right?
Yeah, I think we've
Okay.
gone over everything.
Okay. Okay, so then, oh, did we lose Valerie? All right. So did you guys get a chance to look over the feedback from us to you. Okay. So some positive points that we wanted to make were that your training manual was really nice and straight to the point and short. It was easy to understand. It was easy to follow. I really liked the NCR portion of the training manual. I thought that was really well written. Valerie, did you have any positive feedback that you wanted to chime in and say?
Yeah, I really liked the PSI. I feel like it could grab a trainee's attention and they could easily follow it. Like the language used, the examples were very good, and it was interesting. The quiz was fun. So I felt like something like that would obviously reach someone who doesn't have experience in the field and wouldn't get overwhelmed with all the terminology and new concepts. So great job on that. I'm also thinking, did we talk about the doc yet? I'm sorry, I got kicked out for a second.
We just started on the positive feedback that we had included for their training manual.
Mm-hmm.
Valerie, oh, you're on fast forward, so I can confuse what's going on.
I'm so sorry. I have no idea what's going on with this.
I did want to include and say that in your DRO section, I would have liked to see more on extinction and DRO with literature supporting that. So that's feedback for the DRO section. And I really like that you guys kept going back and in your limitations writing how whatever was included in the literature wasn't relating to your staff or wasn't relating to your clients. So that kind of gave us a clear understanding if the intervention would work or wouldn't work or how it would be used for your clientele. So I really like that you guys did that. Valerie, did you have any?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having technical difficulties over here. I'm pulling up the doc that we made with the comments.
Okay, by the time she pulls that up, I also wanted to mention that we really liked your knowledge acquisition test, and we thought it was really cool that you guys included a link to it so that the trainer can pull it up on the computer and see it easily instead of having to print it out and have one for him or herself. So I thought that was really cool of you guys to do.
Yeah, from my end, what I like is the one, like she says, the link you are putting. That's good. We never thought of that, even though it was mentioned, we didn't put it. But the other thing which I want to discuss is the evaluation of the trainee. In most cases, like I saw, you gave them 3 chances to pass the quiz, or I mean, not the quiz, the IOA test or the DOR. Those are very little. Like when we say in PSI, they should learn, we should have to give them a lot of chance for training. But the way you limit them, like IOA, for example, when we talk about IOA, it says like 90% should match. That was a little hard. Even me as a new employee when I was working, it was hard to differentiate between different things. IOA on frequency, IOA on within the intervention. That was a little hard. So normally it says 80% in the training manual also. So on that, if you do some concession for the staff, I guess it will be good.
Yeah, I think one of our questions too was, what was the reason for choosing the 90%?
Because it says 80% on the books.
Yeah, so that was one of the comments that I know we have reviewed, and that's something that I think we might reconsider, and we're going to talk about that. So thank you for your feedback on that. 90% seems high looking back. So we're gonna discuss that. So thank you for that comment.
Mhm. Also, another thing within the training objective area, being able to one of the objectives you wrote was being able to identify when the target behavior is and is not occurring based on the behavioral definition. We thought it might be nice to also add this statement into your PowerPoint to kind of bring everything back together.
Yeah. The DR.
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion.
And then moving on, I think Sierra Nishi gave feedback on the PowerPoint section.
Yes, my feedback for the PowerPoint was that overall, I thought you guys had really good examples and explanation of what DR was, what NCR was, examples, non-examples. But since we are training direct care staff and we want them to be engaged in learning and not to get bored, I think maybe including pictures or video examples for them to kind of grasp the idea better, because we don't know how people learn and their learning styles might be different. So I think that, you know, adding that into your PowerPoint presentation would be beneficial for your direct care staff, especially if they don't have any experience in ABA or implementing any of these interventions. That was it for the PowerPoint.
Okay. And then there was a citation comment. So within the modeling section of your document,
Yeah.
there was a citation, I think, that we couldn't quite decide.
Yeah,
I guess the information you put out. Did you see the mark?
Yes, that will be fixed.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And then let's see, scrolling down. I mean, overall, you guys had a really good cohesive document. Like, it was easy to read. It definitely had us thinking about some of our sections as well. Let me see. We have a section here about the training timeline.
Yeah, we have to correct that.
Yeah, the PowerPoint presentation link, I guess, being put in with the materials needed. But or you could reference it like you did in the one below it. You referenced it in the appendix.
You go.
Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear me?
No.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. If they
I don't
can
know
hear
what's
you, I'm
happening.
okay.
I closed all my tabs.
I keep forgetting to unmute.
Oh. Okay, scrolling through. I think in one of your sections about overview of differential reinforcement, there was a reference to limitations in DRO, and then we made a comment about, does the literature take into account your client population? But I believe further down you guys had sort of a disclaimer that you knew that the child population was not the same as the article, so your children are younger than the article you guys were referencing.
Yeah, we're aware of that comment.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I think that was, I think it was taken care of later on, if it was clear enough to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think. Oh, did we talk about the vocabulary section as well?
You haven't mentioned the vocabulary section yet. I don't know if you're still talking. Sorry.
Valerie, we cannot hear you.
Oh,
but
no.
I will say that so that was my section, and I saw your comments on it, and I definitely, and looking at your vocabulary section and how you guys have it as more of like a visually appealing one, I think I'm going to go back and change that. And then also, I think one of your comments was to add something about operational definition, I
Yes.
think. So yeah, I'm going to go back and make it more visually appealing. Because the way you guys have it printed, set up, it could almost be printed out as like SAF meds. So that's something that I will go back and change.
Okay. And then on one of the vocabulary, the stereotypy, sorry, the stereotypy, were you able to see the comment about how it is a function of behavior and kind of maybe drawing attention to that? Because as direct care staff learning, the field of ABA, stereotypy is a function based off of sensory. It's functional sensory. Sorry.
So it tends to be a function of automatic stimulation. The way it was worded, it says it seems like doesn't have a function. Just so the reason I worded it that way is so that these direct care staff who don't have experience, they might think like that child is doing that. He's closing and opening his hands for no reason. That was the reason for that particular wording.
Okay, it read off a little bit confusing at first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for clarifying.
Overall, it is a good, all the definition I try to read, they are good, easy to understand them, so it's good to go.
I think that's all I have for the document.
Do any of our members who are standing by have any other comments or questions?
Rachel says, no, thank you for your feedback.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for your patience with all of the technical difficulties. I have no idea what's going on.
I guess we are fine. It's okay. Most of what he talked, we heard it.
Yeah.
You were hearing her where she was talking. I guess it is from our end. We don't hear. Like now, I don't hear. If you can hear it, I'm okay with that.
Okay, so what I could do is once we end this, it's going to generate a link for me, and then I will email that to you. What's the best way? Do you want it sent through Canvas, or do you want me to post the link onto the discussion board?
Valerie, sorry to cut you off, but can we mention the group members that are also present backstage so the professor knows that they were here present, they just couldn't be where the video is where she can see, but they're like backstage.
Yeah, cannot accommodate them.
So Dr. Bellapani, SteamYard only allows for 6 participants at a time. So we have some members backstage. We have Rachel Peckham. We have Ashley Connor. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll up. We have Carly Breen.
That's it.
And that's all.
Okay.
But thank you guys for your feedback. We will definitely be applying it.
Thank you, guys.
Most of the things we did already start correcting them. They were a good feedback, so really appreciate.
Okay, looks like Canvas is a good place to send the link. So I'll send this to you guys after, and I believe we post it to our individual assignments.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you for setting this up, and thanks for your feedback as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you. Valerie is here.
Yeah, I'm trying to end the broadcast.
Yeah, that's good. You better wait for another